A state governor declared the day a holiday and named it after him. Not everyone was celebrating. July 24th, LeBron James is signing with the Philadelphia 76ers. 2 years, $8 million, with a player option on the second year, a deal reported at the veteran minimum. The first wave came from the city, not the league. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, describing himself as a diehard Sixers fan, used the power of his office to proclaim the day LeBron James Day. Within hours, Allen Iverson, Saquon Barkley, and Philadelphia-born coach Don Staley had all responded. James pointed his own announcement at the city as well. The video he posted to Instagram was set to a track by Philadelphia rapper Meek Mill. Note what that contract is, though, because it shaped the reaction as much as the destination did. The most decorated active player in the sports signed for the least a veteran can be paid. Nobody in Philadelphia was talking about the money. Everybody outside Philadelphia was. His new teammates answered with memes rather than statements. Tyrese Maxey posted a clip of himself celebrating. Joel Embiid posted a reaction video. Jaylen Brown replied with a single hashtag. Second-year wing VJ Edgecombe recreated a LeBron meme. What stands out is that nobody staked a claim. This is a team that had already traded for Jaylen Brown from Boston earlier in the offseason. Brown finished fourth in the league in scoring last season at 28.7 points a game. Embiid averaged 26.9 in the 38 games he played. Maxey is an all-star league guard. Ad James in Philadelphia has 4 players who have carried offenses on their own and 1 basketball to share between them. James and Embiid have actually done this before, briefly. They were teammates on the Team USA squad that won Olympic gold in 2024. That was 8 games. This is 82. The first reaction was welcome, not caution. Whether that holds up in February is a separate question. Then there were the people not celebrating. The candidates have been Cleveland, Miami, Golden State, and Minnesota, and the first pushback came from the NFL. Micah Parsons publicly vented that nobody seems to want to play alongside Stephen Curry, asking what exactly is going on in the Bay Area. Andre Drummond needed one stun emoji. That single character got quoted more widely than most of the analysis. Cleveland is a different kind of quiet. His hometown team missed out on him again. Across American outlets, the conclusion landed in roughly the same place. The biggest loser of this summer is not Golden State. It is the Cavaliers. And there is a practical cost to being one of the teams that lost. James Harden in Cleveland and Draymond Green in Golden State had both opted out of their contracts, giving their teams the flexibility to chase James. With the decision made, both are now free to re-sign where they were. One of the teams that struck out is expected to pivot to DeMar DeRozan, with Miami and Cleveland both reportedly linked. Which is why one of the most common reactions from rival teams and agents was not emotional at all. It was relief. The rest of free agency had been frozen for weeks waiting on one man, and it could finally start moving again. The explanation for why he did not go back to somewhere familiar came from his own side of the table. Rich Paul told ESPN's Ramona Shelburne, in effect, that going back to a place where you have already won cannot feel the way it did the first time, and that those memories are better left where they are. The announcement landed directly on top of WNBA All-Star Weekend, which is why some of the rawest reactions happened in front of a lens. Players and coaches were being asked about it all over the event. Caitlin Clark was filmed learning the news in real time. She was audibly stunned, then said she expects to be watching more Sixers games. Paige Buchers, also surprised, named the team she had been hoping he would pick. There is something worth noticing in that. The biggest reaction shot of the day was not a press conference. It was somebody hearing it secondhand, on camera, with no time to prepare an answer. The most reshared image of this whole saga was not created on announcement day. In early July, Stephen Gansey, the brother of 76ers president of basketball operations Mike Gansey, posted an old photograph. It is a 2001 group shot of Ohio's top high school prospects, and standing beside a teenage LeBron James is a teenage Mike Gansey. That year, the two finished first and second in the state's Mr. Basketball voting. They never actually faced each other on a court. The photo drew more than 1 million impressions on X, and Philadelphia fans began treating it less as wishful thinking and more as a clue. On the day of the announcement, the same image circulated harder than it had the first time. Mike Gansey spent 15 years in Cleveland's front office, rising to general manager of the Cavaliers, before arriving in Philadelphia at the end of May as Daryl Morey's replacement. Inside 2 months, he had traded for Jaylen Brown and signed LeBron James. ESPN's Dave McMenamin reported that Gansey stayed in constant communication with Rich Paul throughout free agency. Here is the part that makes this story stranger than the celebration suggests. On the prediction market Kalshur, more than $226 million was traded on where James would sign. On the morning of the announcement, Miami was the overwhelming favorite at close to 45%. Philadelphia sat fourth, behind Miami, Cleveland, and Golden State at 8.9%. The 76ers touched second place exactly once, 18%, late on the night of July 3rd. That was their high-water mark. As late as midday on Friday, the collective intelligence of people betting real money did not see this ending. Reporting around the league suggested Philadelphia was roughly fourth on the list of destinations executives expected as well. The sportsbooks move faster than anyone. Philadelphia's championship price went from around 20-1 to somewhere between 9 and 10-1 within minutes of the announcement, fourth on the board, essentially level with the defending champion New York Knicks. Their number had already shortened once earlier in the summer when they traded for Brown. The teams that missed went the other way. Miami settled around 30-1. Golden State drifted out to 60-1, which is close to a sportsbook saying out loud that it has stopped pricing them as contenders. A trading manager at BetMGM told Yahoo Sports that after the news broke, the betting was nothing but 76ers. ESPN's framing of the last 4 weeks is the cleanest summary. A play-in team turned into a championship contender inside a single month. Numbers only move like that when a market concedes something. In this case, that a 41-year-old can still shift the center of gravity in the Eastern Conference. Philadelphia was swept by New York in the Eastern Conference semifinals last season. American outlets attached the same 3 caveats. First, health, managing both Embiid's body and a 41-year-old LeBron across 82 games. Second, depth. The projected starting lineup is among the most talented in the league, but the roster thins out quickly behind the big men. Third, the paperwork. Philadelphia still has salary to shed for this contract to work. In one personal footnote, reporting suggests playing alongside his son Bronny is unlikely this time. The roster is full, and the Lakers are said to want to keep him. James called this his last decision. He said he thought he was finished when the season ended, and that he still loves the game and has more to give. Which narrows the question to one. Is this a calculated final run at a title, or the most elaborate way anyone has ever postponed retirement? And if you had money on this market, which team did you back? Tell us in the comments.